could we somehow step back in our lives and instead of thinking of prayer as a formula or some type of gimmick, not gimmick, that sounds bad. There are good things that we can do in prayer that somehow we have been made to believe that if we do those things, that somehow there's a higher probability that our prayers would be answered. You know what I'm talking about? Like if you pray louder, if you pray longer, if you're on your knees, if you close your eyes, if people agree with you, things like that. Why couldn't we, knowing the Bible and the way that it played out for so many people, why couldn't we go into prayer with the mindset that I'm going to pray with all that I have for my desires and for my will and what I want? Knowing that God is hearing my requests and hearing my prayers like a father who loves his child, how much more does our Heavenly Father love us, knowing that he is hearing us and listening to us. But also in our hearts knowing that we are not stupid enough or foolish enough by any means to think that the counsel or the wisdom of God is below ours. That we don't go into prayer somehow saying, God, you should take my plan. Take my plan, God. I've thought this through. I've got everything worked out. Take my plan. No, we go in saying, God, you know my heart. You know my heart. I don't want this to happen, or I do want this to happen. One way or the other. But God, not what I want, but what you want. Now, you can say those words or whatever, but prayer is a gut check time. The reason I wanted to talk prayer like this the first week is it's gut check time. What do you want more? Do you want God's will more than you want your will? I mean, that is the crux of the Christian life, is it not? I mean, when you decided to receive Christ, you were deciding to take God's life and God's plan over your own. It's the same way in prayer with the situations in life. Do you want God's plan more than your plan? See, the bad news about Jesus in the garden here is that God's will did play out. It didn't end well. I mean, that's actually not true. It ended very well. But God's plan meant pain and hurt and suffering. And it happened that way. Joseph, 12 years, 13 years, prison, slavery, false accusations. Moses, 40 years, leading people around, never gets to the promised land. God says, I'm going to kill the people of Israel, and then the next generation I'll take in. Moses waits around that whole time as they die off. Then Jesus takes them up on the mountain and says, there's a promised land. Look at it. You're not going in. I kill you. Boom. There you go. Jeremiah, right? I mean, just go all the way up. John the Baptist didn't end well. So I think if we're going to talk about prayer and really be brutally honest about prayer, it's not a matter of how do I get my way with God. It's a matter of, can I get my heart and my mind aligned to God getting His way with me?